What's going on, everyone? It is David Schlotthauer here in the Weather Center. Keep an eye on your weather forecast for April the 21st, 2023. In this video, we're tracking another system for early next week that could bring another round of severe weather, along to go with heavy rainfall that can lead to flood concerns and some strong gusty winds. So we're going to dive straight into the video since we do have quite a bit to talk about in a rather short amount of time in this video. So let's take a look here at the GFS model on tropicaltidbits.com, or Levi Cowan, that makes these maps very much possible with his encoding software. So let's take a look here at Monday morning next week for April the 24th, 2023. We can see we do have some showers and thunderstorms that could develop as early as Monday morning for the high plains, even for portions of Texas. Out there across Abilene, Lubbock, Texas, could have some showers and thunderstorms. Part of another weather system that is going to likely develop. So going forward, we can see showers are just going to be the thing mainly on Monday, by the way. So really nothing too substantial, but we're going to be likely to see light to moderate rainfall all the way from Kansas, from Missouri into Arkansas, into Oklahoma, and Texas right here, where we have a lot of this disturbing weather. We also have a bit of shower activity in Iowa and more showers and thunderstorms, part of a thermal low that develops there over the Rockies and New Mexico. So maybe some early monsoon kind of flavoring here for the higher elevations of the Intermountain West. Now, going forward here for early Tuesday morning and early Tuesday afternoon, this is when the main system really gets going here, okay? For Oklahoma, for Arkansas, that's where we have stronger showers and thunderstorms. Some of these storms could be capable of producing heavy rainfall, maybe some large hail, some gusty winds, and yes, we could also see tornadoes too along to go with these storms, because we do have kind of a weak warm front that is going to be draped here. We got a weak dry line that is going to be in place from central Texas off towards like Fort Stockton. And then, of course, we have a bent back occlusion front over here in, from New Mexico all the way into northern Texas. So, of course, that is a system that we are really going to have to watch. It's going to develop in a hurry here. So going forward, we can see maybe an MCS tries to form as early as Tuesday evening into early Wednesday morning, April the 25th into the 26th, stretching across Arkansas into Louisiana. And then this could continue to propagate eastward with time all the way into Wednesday morning. So impacting southern Indiana, southern Illinois, as well as Kentucky, eastern Tennessee, the Carolinas, Georgia, as well as Alabama, including for, western Florida. And then that moves into the eastern seaboard by Wednesday night into early Thursday, bringing with it some moderate to heavy rainfall, some breezy winds along to go with that, but it looks to become more diluted, not as intense as early on, over the Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas border, where there's going to be probably more than likely some severe weather to take place. And then that kind of moves out and another surface low tries to form, and that could bring more rain and more inclement weather for the Northeast by the end of next week. So that would be April the 28th and the 29th, and more showers possible over Wisconsin. So now that we took a look at our radar forecast, I think it's a good idea that we focus on temperatures. It's definitely going to be a warm one, depending on where you're exactly at, okay? So some very warm temperatures are anticipated, especially for California, that has had some very cold temperatures this winter and fall and spring so far. We're going to turn the corner rapidly. We're finally going to feel spring-like, even some summer-like temperatures here. It's lovely. It's nice to see that, right? It's not very good to have the allergies, though, so make sure you do take your allergy medicine if you are prone to getting severe allergies during these very warm outbreaks. So let's go forward and take a look here at our temperature forecast. Definitely going to be a warm one today. Temperatures in the 80s and 70s across the southeast, including for the mid-Atlantic coast and the northeast. Look at this for the deep south, like southern Texas, in the 80s and 90s. Look at Arizona, temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s too. for your Friday on the 21st of April. And then, yes, look at that orange in California. That is 70s and 80s. Welcome back. Those warm temperatures for quite a while. I don't think we're going to get back into the 60s anymore this season until we get into fall, of course. And so nice, cool or warm temperatures during the day, but also still chilly at night. So still some 50s and 40s in California, still cooling down nicely. Some low to mid 50s expected over Texas, over the deep south like Louisiana, Mississippi, northern Alabama, as well as Tennessee. Pretty cold still for a lot of you all that live across the northern tier of the United States. The Dakotas, Montana, Wyoming, temperatures still in the 20s for your Saturday morning. But at least it warms up a little bit, but not going to warm up too much. Going to stay in the 30s and 20s. And I mean, this is April 22nd. I mean, you should start seeing some really warm temperatures build in, but it's going to be a while, of course, when it comes to that. But temperatures going to cool down quite a bit in the eastern seaboard, the northeast, and even including for the deep south, temperatures there going to drop down into the upper 70s to lower 80s versus the upper 70s to, or actually versus the lower 80s to the mid 80s. Very warm in Phoenix, possibly some mid to upper 90s expected on Saturday, and then cooler and then likely a little warmer here, possibly getting close to 100 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona, Palm Springs, those areas, Death Valley, Las Vegas. It'll be very warm there for your Sunday. So we're going to take a look now at our severe weather forecast fairly quickly here. There is a marginal risk for severe weather today. This is just driven by a 2% chance of tornadoes today. So I am not going live today. There's no purpose of doing it at all unless we do have a violent tornado or some sort of thing that tries to develop. But otherwise, looking very on the low end today, a level 1 out of 5 on the severity weather index scale, driven by a 5% for wind and a 5% for large hail today. So really nothing too significant by any means at all, including for Texas and also for the northern tier or the upper Midwest. However, tomorrow I might end up going live for the sake of things for the eastern seaboard, depending on how this all evolves. We're not seeing anything significant at the moment, but we are still seeing a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 on the severity weather index scale for, say, the central and eastern portion of Virginia, the Carolinas, including for easternmost Georgia, where you're under a slight risk for severe weather. This is driven by a 2% chance of tornadoes, so really not big on the tornadoes tomorrow, at least for right now, on the Day 2 Outlook by the Storm Prediction Center. They may highlight a little bit of an area, maybe a larger 2%, maybe a 5%, but right now it doesn't look all that likely. This is driven by a 5 to 15% risk for strong winds and a 5 to 15% risk for large hail. So again, really mainly hail and wind driven, kind of similar to with what we had yesterday. Only yesterday we had a 5% risk for tornadoes. So now we're going to take a look at our Climate Prediction Center. Now that we talked about the rain, the severe weather, now it's time to talk about what are your chances of seeing above or below average temperatures, right? So much of the U.S. has flipped its weather pattern, all right? So below average chances are likely now across much of the Midwest, the northern tier, and the deep south, including for the Northeast, where you have a 33 to 60% chance for below average temperatures, above average, leaning above average for Florida. But look at this for California, you're leaning above and likely above average as far as temperatures go. But it looks like that's going to be short-lived as we added some blue on the screen there for Southern California. Looking equal chances, though, for the 8 to 14-day forecast for California, and then for the Pacific Northwest, leaning to likely above average temperatures and likely below average temperatures for the Midwest, for the northern tier, and for the deep south, of course. When you take a look here at our precipitation forecast, you can see they're leaning above and likely above average for the southeast, for portions of the deep south, and the Ozarks, the upper Midwest, are likely to see a 33 to 50% chance for above average precipitation, and then likely below average and leaning below average for California, Nevada, and for the Pacific Northwest. So kind of a dry spell, really warm too, kind of setting up here as large-scale ridging builds back west. A classic La Nina-ish pattern, however you want to put it, that's going to lead to those dry conditions. And then, of course, when we take a look at our 8 to 14 day forecast, leaning below average chances there for the northern tier and going back in the greens for California, possibly leaning above average chances for precipitation in that 8 to 14 day outlook. Well, that is going to sum it up for today's video. If you did enjoy the detailed weather content, please consider subscribing for more detailed weather updates on an everyday basis. Hit the like button and share this video with your family and friends on social media, and I'll be happy to reply to your comments that you have below. I haven't gone around to my last video yet, but I'll be sure to do that today. So make sure you do leave comments, share, like, and subscribe, and also check out our Weather Force Discord server. There's a link in the description below this video. But anyways, that is going to do it. Thank you all for watching.